Welcome to the eating stream, where I eat instead of playing a game. Been a while, huh? Funny how that works. My keyboard broke. Late last week. Tried to fix it, but couldn't. Tried to get a new one, and it was a whole thing. Let me tell you about this shit. The first thing I did, went to the electronics store Saturday morning, right when it opened up, and tried out their keyboards. And I found one that I really liked. It was the Razer Ornata V2, and specifically the 10 keyless version. I was like, oh, can I get this one? And turns out they didn't have anything. They didn't have it anymore. They only had the demo model for both the 10 keyless and the regular, actually. So the employee asked me like, hey, do you want us to order this? You're not signing a contract to buy the thing. If you do that, we just write down some information and then you can come in here whenever it's delivered and get one of them. I was like, yeah, sure. Let's just do that right now. Did that. Went back home. Started looking online for, where to get the thing cheaper. Used or refurbished or whatever. Bought one for like half the price of the new one. And canceled the order from the electronics store. And then I just left it at that. Fast forward about half a week. The keyboard gets here. The wrong fucking keyboard. First of all, the keyboard I get is French. The keyboard that I got was French. Now, that doesn't really bother me. I don't need the keycaps to be accurate, but it's just funny, and I wanted to point it out. But quickly I realized that this is not the keyboard that I wanted to get. Not the one that I looked at the store. It's not the one that I wanted. Turns out I had accidentally bought not the V2, but the V3. Now, you'd think this would be better. After all, it's a newer model. It's gotta be better, right? Maybe it has some improved functionality. I discovered pretty fast when I tried to play Void on that keyboard that it doesn't have key rollover. So that's cool. Buy a new keyboard, you can't play my, main game on it. So I was like, well, this is fucking useless then. Can I return it? And it turns out I can return it. And I also went and ordered a used V2 instead. Really making sure that it's actually the one I'm looking for. And that can get here, that's gonna get here anytime. I don't know. It might get here tomorrow, it might get here on Monday. We will see. But that's been bothering me. Because first I didn't have access to a keyboard. At first I didn't even manage to log onto my computer because I didn't figure out that you can pull up a screen record very and then I get this keyboard, start using it, and it's dog shit, and it just nags me, I'm like, well, I can't play Void on this. Don't really feel comfortable streaming. So what the fuck do I do? But that's pretty close to getting settled now. Unfortunately, there are about a million other things that I'm also having to deal with right now. Starting with my mobile phone contract. Yeah. Contract for mobile internet. I was supposed to get a new SIM card for the like 5G networks. I was told that it would arrive start of July, and it didn't. It didn't look further into it. And then halfway through July, they informed me that the old SIM will be deactivated. So I was like, oh, well. So for a couple of days now, my SIM has been deactivated, and so I've not had any mobile internet. And I've tried to figure out where the SIM was sent, but I can't even look at the contract details. And it's just a whole mess. But I needed a new contract anyway, so what I've tried now is to just send an email to my ISP telling them I want to terminate the contract, and I'll see if they get back to me, when they get back to me. And then once that happens, I'll just get a new contract. Fine. I usually have Wi-Fi wherever I are. I are? That's not how you English, Q. Jesus. And that's been bothering me. I haven't even started talking about work. Let me take a sip of iodine first. That's good. So, work, huh? Remember a while ago when I was complaining about the early shift having had their time cut? Because when I started, the early shift always started at 5:30 a.m. and went until 1 p.m. And at first, when I started, I actually struggled to get everything done that needed to get done by 8 a.m. when we open. But over time, I got more used to it, and especially these days, I'm a lot more efficient, and I don't even rush, and I can get everything done with good quality, even while only starting at 6. But yeah, originally we started at 5:30. Then about a month and a half ago, I want to say, we're informed by corporate that the early shift is supposed to start at 6. And I'm like, well, that's bullshit. Why are they cutting our times by half an hour? Because they're still going to require the exact same workload, right? Answer is yes, they are. They did require the exact same workload in half an hour less, and it has cut somewhat into the time we usually use to take a breakfast break before 8 a.m. So that's been annoying, but we've dealt with it collectively. We've been able to cope with it quite well. And then today, they send us the shift plan for next week. And guess what? They moved back the start of the early shift another 30 minutes. So now we're supposed to start at 6:30, and I'm like, well, I'm fine with doing that, but I'm not gonna be working any faster. Like, you're on something else if you think I'm gonna bust my ass to try and get everything done by 8 a.m. If you're gonna take half an hour from me, then I'm only gonna be done half an hour later. Like, that's like the logical consequence, right? You'd think if they wanted to reduce work times without cutting into revenue in a meaningful way, they'd let us close up earlier, because we make almost no sales after 6 p.m., but we have to stay open until 8 for some reason. So you totally could let us close up an hour earlier, or even 2 hours earlier, and shorten the late shift like that. But they don't do that for some ass reason. And like, even that would still be kind of shitty, because the light shift is pretty intense, and like, you have to be working the entire time basically, even if you're not making that many sales due to all the cleaning and all the organizing you have to do, just like on the side during the opening times. But yeah, apparently corporate just really wants to reduce our times, which is a problem. In practice, I'm also not entirely sure how legal it is because I signed a contract to work 39 and a half hours per week. Now, admittedly, that is a lot, and I am personally fine with working fewer hours than that. But, I also want to get everything done in the early shift. That's kind of impossible when you're not giving us the time we need. Um, Now, interestingly, several of my coworkers have actually kept starting their early shift at 5:30, despite corporate moving the start of the shift back. And like they can do whatever they want, but I just conceptually disagree with that because not only do we not get paid for starting sooner, but we're also, as a consequence, not covered by insurance if we have a work-related accident during that time. And then also, by doing that, you're justifying the company. You're justifying the shitty business decision. It's like, why would you do that? So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to starting my shift no earlier than it says in the plan and working at my usual work pace, which has been more than enough, I want to point out, to get everything done within a reasonable time for quite a while now, without me having to bust my ass. And if someone tells me that I need to work faster, then I'm like, I've always worked this fast and it's always been fine. So it's luckily I've got the late shift next week, but like it's not really addressing the. I mean, the solution is, of course, for us to unionize. Why is my bitrate display like that? What? Huh? My bitrate display on Twitch just went completely haywire. Sorry. That kind of sidetracked me. But as if that's not enough, the early shift has to do even more extra work now because we're supposed to tally our earnings, the earnings of the early shift at the end of it, which is also something that I conceptually agree with. It's frankly weird that we've been the only store that doesn't have to do that every day. And it doesn't really take that long, but we've had to, get used to it. There's still the adjustment period because we only started doing that on like Tuesday or something. And that's been whack, especially because one of my coworkers who does the majority of the sales every morning has never had to tally anything because they work the same times every day. So that's been whack. And so you can see how my life has just kind of been one thing after the other. One annoyance here, one grievance there. And it's like, man, I just want to relax. I just want to play my favorite video game, but I can't because my keyboard's busted. I just want to, not kill myself with work, but then they're reducing our times and increasing our workload. And it's like, it's so shitty. It is so insidious. Insidious. That's the word. They're cutting our times, which also means less pay because we're paid by time, but they're requiring the same workload, which means working at higher speeds, which means higher exhaustion. It's like, no, I'm not about to go along with that. I'm not about to start working as fast as I can just to get everything done. I fucking hate the company. They also seem to. I think they also pointed out to the store recently that um, even if some of our stuff like breaks and we can no longer sell it, we're not allowed to eat it. We're not allowed to eat it. Nuh-uh. We have to throw it away. You're stealing if you're eating it, despite the fact that it's literally something we cannot sell anymore. So there isn't even like an imagined uh profit that the company is losing with that. We're not allowed to give it away for free either. It's so annoying. And I ignore that, of course. I steal food. I don't give a shit. And frankly, if one of my coworkers stole food and, someone asked me, hey, did this person pay for that? I'd always tell them yes, obviously. I'm not sure all of my coworkers have realized that that's something they should be doing, though. They all seem way too willing to just submit to the will of corporate. So, I've wanted to, contact our local union for a while now, and I keep putting it off, forgetting it. Um, which that one's on me. But like, especially now that our times are getting cut, and several employees that, you know, had signed a contract for 40 hours or almost 40 hours are now only working 30 to 35 hours a week. Um, like that's just a breach of the contract, basically. The company isn't even allowed to do that, but of course they're hoping they can get away with it. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop ranting and raving about my dog shit job now. It's been like 15 minutes since I started talking, and I've only complained. Let's end it on a positive note. What is one thing in my life that has been good? I had a cookie the other day. That one was pretty nice. Okay, but genuinely, I can't really come up with anything. Oh God. I guess there's the Void Rains news, huh? There's a new event, which is really, really awesome. Um, Apparently Tox Polyps got fixed, so I can go back to grinding for 9 sublimes on her. Apparently Chroma allows an extra sublime, and it's really cursed. Looking forward to doing that. Let me have one more bite of my sandwich. And then let me have one more sip of my iron. And then let's get this party started. To recap, because it has been a while. Last time, we got stabbed. And that's all you need to know. Chapter 2, Elias and Flynn. Oh, I need to move the game window somewhere else. Can't read it here. Give me a moment. Put it here. Your typical morning routine's been ruined by the bastard of the hour. Oh, hour, day. You need to meet him in hospital to get questions out of him for the case he's dumped on you. There's also something about hospitality. But right now, you're sat in a cafe. This is where you should be, as your usual morning dictates. If Quinn can survive the night, he can survive the next hour. That looks pretty good. The cafe you're in is one of the few you can tolerate. Others never brew the coffee to the temperature you want, no matter what you tell them. Oh my god, so real. Like, there's this cafe near me that I still love to go to. I haven't been in a while, but I love them a lot. The coffee is never hot. Coffee that they serve is never hot, so nowadays, whenever I go there, I just resort to drinking tea. And tea is good, but I would just love a really good, really hot coffee. You know, the way I used to make when I still worked as a barista. That's not happening. This one doesn't either, but the attempt at it makes you stick around, bro. Ah. Oh god, Elias. You're quite the creature. Stir a spoon absent-mindedly, eyes scanning the room like a hawk. Window to the street. Nothing of note. Cafe itself almost empty. Surprisingly so. Normally it's much busier at this hour. One man sits in a booth across from you, absorbed in a book. That's me. I'm the one reading at the cafe. Flaky crumbs of recently eaten pastry dribble from his mouth. Oh, there is one more thing I wanted to say that I just thought about. Um, I originally wanted to put my stream title as "These Bitches Gay." Good for them, good for them. But Twitch wouldn't let me. I don't know if it was bitch or gay that they detected and didn't let slide. But like, I think they should have a system where you need to like unlock the permission to use a certain swear word. So like, if you can convince the Twitch admins that you're homosexual, you're allowed to put the word gay in your stream title. I don't know how exactly that would work. You know, how would you verify that? Do you just need to send them a sex tape of you or something like? I don't know. I'm working on my theory for this one, but swear words just are fun sometimes, you know? And like gay isn't even a swear word. It was probably bitches that got flagged. And you know what? Fair enough. Like I'm not actually upset about this. A woman with no food or drink is in the next booth over, staring wistfully outside, obviously waiting for someone. Another man sits at a nearby table. At him again, you're surprised you didn't take notice of him before. Handsome, word that comes first. Freckles are dappled over his face with an artist's precision. Hair glitters in morning sunlight. I think it might be Flynn. He almost looks familiar. Think is familiar. Just as he starts another sip of tea, his eyes round to yours. Must have been staring at him for a full minute at least. We're not holding it in. Then, he isn't shocked by this. His name's becoming as infamous as his, at least amongst circles who care for that thing. I take it you're a fan of me, then? I have some friends who are. In fact, I have one who regards your work quite highly. He speaks of you often. Frankly, I'd call his admiration an obsession. He revels in this. Precision strokes to his ego, giving you a moment to plot your next move. You have seen him perform once with him. He might even remember that you did. Such a bizarre thing, you know? One minute you're just reading to a few friends, and the next, people recognize you on the street. Let's lie to him. I'll admit, and my apologies, really. I haven't heard your poetry myself. Oh, you don't need to apologize for that. Not everyone gets poetry, you know. Giggles back to his teeth. Vaguely wonder what was funny. See, do you mind? Rises from his chair, dusts off the table, and takes a seat opposite you. Ooh, how romantic. A coffee date while your uh, fellow detective is languishing in the hospital, probably recovering from surgery. Readjusts his cup as he sets it down, spoon clicking against the rim. I hope you're fine with this. I'm enjoying our chat. Not at all. I'm enjoying it as well. I'm glad you are. I do have a tendency to talk a lot. I'm always worried I'm boring anyone. Suppose it goes with the job, doesn't it? You're an interesting person, Flynn. Oh, please, you flatter me. It's funny when people say that. Everyone thinks my work is interesting because they're fans, or interesting because it's so different from what they do. I never think what I do is interesting. Oh, we should stop talking about me. You deserve to have a word. What do you do for a living? He looks at you expectantly. I know this for certain. It's far more interesting than my work. Let's... Longer. I mean, let's beat around the bush a little, right? Let's say something that isn't technically a lie, but doesn't give away the whole game. I just file papers, nothing special. And there's no question what you do, obviously. You say obviously like it is. Most don't even realize I spend most of my time performing. Some people think I just put words to paper and that magically turns into money. As if my pen transmutes ink into gold. If only. If only! No, performances are really the only way. I try to get something on most nights, but turns away bashfully. I do have a bit of, well, a side job. Takes up some of my evenings. It pays well, and it's very fun. Can't do it full time, though. Why not? Oh, you know. Sentence to hang in the air. He was predisposed to it. He might be humming and hawing. And probably come up with something to say. The way he looks at you. Purpose. He's trying to tell you something without words. Nothing lets you hear it, however. Squint a little. Maybe trying to communicate a hint. Whatever it is, it's something that can't be spoken. Something that would get everyone involved into trouble. Taboo. Illicit. Morally reprehensible. He winks. Prostitution. Certainly adds up, given only half his fan base is there for his way with words. Quinn would chase after a whore. Although, it's been rough recently. I had a bit of, well... He pauses, looking at the table. A disagreement with a coworker, could say. Can only imagine what that means. And that's made things a little taxing, has it? Oh, not really. It's made everything easier, actually. Wry smile that follows puts scenes in your mind you're not want to confront on a Tuesday morning. Oh no, no! Can I go back? I want to I want to click unless. Oh, I want Elias to imagine the filthiest things that he can. Oh, damn it. Damn it, damn it. We can go back, right? I think we can replay the chapter. I gotta see it. I gots to. But easier doesn't necessarily mean better, no? I thought I might be happier, get more stuff done, but Flynn sighs, but immediately breaks into a small laugh. Never mind that, never mind. Got a show tonight I need to prepare for. Whereabouts? The Mon Lena, off Market Street. Smirks. I can't get you free tickets, if that what you're asking. I wouldn't dream of it. You stand, coffee undrunk, far too cold to be worth the bother. I'll let you run. I'll let you run off. I've got things I need to sort myself. Good luck with your preparations. I'm sure you'll do fantastically. Oh, you. I'm sure you'll do just as good as I do. Straighten your collar and head out. Bell chimes as you leave. There's something that's been nipping at your heel during the whole encounter. Something you didn't quite want to admit. He really is charming. Well, the love triangle is rearing its head. Finding him in that state reminded you of the Quinn you knew aeons ago. There was none of the front you've both built between you. Constant battle of pleasantries that mean nothing and insults that mean even less. You don't know if he called out like that because it was you, or because it was anyone. The thing you like the least, that it took something like this to remember what you had. Why you still think about what could have been. Snuff out whatever sympathy you have left and prepare for another round. What people don't realize about interrogation is that it's more akin to a battle. All tactics and strategies as much apply. A frontal assault would get you nowhere. You'd only burn yourself out and like a fool to everyone else. The usual strategy involves chipping someone down. Start slow, gradually increase the pressure, incrementing enough they don't even notice the change. Eventually, their inhibitions drop, they're yours. Quinn is tough to crack. Been dodging your strikes, well aware of your tactics, but there's only so long he can claim his stomach stops him talking. Today, you're certain you've laid enough ground to get something. There's not much left now, as you face the door. Check the time. Before you face him, you check you're suitably armed. Uniform, obviously. On Quinn it does little, given that he sees it every day, but impression is just as important. Baton. No intent to use it, but similarly, the implication is as strong. In your jacket pocket is a police journal. Ripping it open reveals running case notes, loose and stylized enough to be indecipherable to anyone else. You're ready. You open the door to his room. The creak of the hinges almost sounds like it's in pain. It's small, but fit. Opposite is a reasonable window with off-white lace curtains. Tired wood panelings line the walls, but at the very least they look clean. Quinn's in a white-sheeted bed, lying on his back. Awake, but doesn't look at you. Far more interested in his fingernails, looking at a loose piece of skin on his thumb. Don't move, seeing if he'll act. Flicks something away and, apparently satisfied, the other. That one's clean and he quickly loses interest. Good morning, detective. The greetings had the exact same effect each time. Good morning, Elias. There's one chair in here. Rickety, but usable. You drag it to face opposite the bed, making an effort to be loud as possible against the floor. Then, sit. Hands folded together in your lap. I assume you're not here for another light chat and some well wishes? Correct. Produce a fountain pen from a waistcoat pocket and flip open your notebook with a dramatic flick of the wrist. I have questions. Of course you're... He cuts himself off with a grunt of pain. Physical or emotional, you're not sure. I'm sick for this. Are you? Being bedridden not good enough for you? You're speaking clearly, have color in your face, and understand me to the point you're responding with quips. Your compos meant enough to be questioned. Quinn, you can tell, so desperately wants to protest that. He's going through rounds of excuses to himself, realizing he used them all in the days before. Finally, he sighs. God. Sorry, I'm yawning. A moment. Expecting answers, I don't have them. I'm not expecting answers. So what are you expecting, then? I'm not sure, detective. Certainly someone of your skill should be able to deduce what I'm here for. In an attempt, you're sure, to give himself more dignity, Quinn pushes himself up to a sit. He winces as he leans forward. You think I wanted this to happen? I'm asking the question, dear. Don't try pulling that shit. Language, detective. Clenches his teeth and exhales slowly out of his nose. Read through the notes you... Several points to start with. Standard. Good to open a point of questioning with. None are really more pressing than the other. You have more than enough time to get through them all besides. You hear Quinn huff from across the room. Those are methods and is trying to get you to hurry up. It's a good tactic, forcing them to wait, making them sweat. It's something that's worked on every person you know. You can wait for as long as you need. Words on the page can entertain you long enough. But looking at them all again, are they necessary? I don't want to actually skip this. Let's talk about the incident. From your perspective, tell me what happened. I think that's fairly obvious. Before you were stabbed, anything that happened in the lead up. His eyes look up. An honest try, you can tell. Remember, I was waiting for the thief to make his robbery. Doing that for a while. How long? I don't know. I lost track of time. The sun was setting at least. And after that, he arrived. Down. And before I could properly react, he stabbed me. Quinn adjusts one of his sheets. That's about it. In your pen. And there's nothing else you remember? Yes. Are you certain? Yes. Again. Not satisfied with the answer, but Write it down regardless. But back to your notes. The other two have equal importance, you feel, and take a moment to consider which to continue with. It all adds to the waiting game anyway. Take as long as you like. When coughs, not from illness, wants this over with as soon as possible. Have there been any further incidents you've been involved in? Quinn looks down at the bed and back at you. Take a wild guess, Elias. This is a protocol question, Detective. I would have thought you'd know that. It's protocol if it's not obvious from context. I have to be as explicit as possible. Has anything happened? Nothing to care about. Indulge me. Everything can be used as evidence, as you surely know. Sighs loudly, with a deep rasp on its edge, holding his arms. Nurse gave me an extra cracker once. Delightful. 10 scratches last as long as you can, just to annoy him. Some shit I would pull. Only one question left, and you ask it immediately. Would you say the incident has left you emotionally impaired? No, Elias, I've never been in higher spirits. Been stabbed in the stomach, bedbound in hospital for a week, and now I'm being grilled by you, and I just want to go back to sleep. I'm so happy right now. I need this in writing, Detective. Write down that I told you to go fuck yourself. Raise an eyebrow. For a brief second, Quinn cracks, but he tenses his jaw, trying to commit to what he just stare at him. He stares back, trying to match you. About to crack. He can't, and darts his eyes away. Are you going to apologize? Keeps looking away from me, going red. Detective? Quinn? Sorry. The only half means it, you can tell. A half was more than you were expecting. Strike off the final question. Quinn, with what looks like effort, lies back down. Are you done yet? I have one big question you were putting off to make a show out of it. Pretend to look for a final set of notes on a different page. There's nothing there. To disguise that Quinn saw right through your roof. Do you have any information on the thief? Quinn closes his eyes and lets his head sink deeper into the pillow. He was waiting for this question to arrive. I don't. Says nothing else. At the very least, you must have some kind of visual on him. It was dark. I didn't see anything. Before I knew what was happening, I had a knife in my stomach. That's it. You narrow your eyes. That's it. For God's sake, yes. Asking me over and over won't make me omniscient. I want to try another approach, but know it will be pointless. Quinn looks at you, eyebrows knotted, his lips sealed. You know that face. You've exhausted everything you can on him. For now. You replace the cap on your fountain pen and stand. Air creaks softly. See you, Elias. Goodbye, Detective. In the corridor, your temper starts to fade. His defiance and your inability to break through it raises a lot of questions you're not sure how to answer. You tap your notebook against your chin thoughtfully. Afternoon, Al. Commissioner Isaac approaches his job with the casual air of someone who doesn't have one of the most important positions in the building. Can't say that out loud, however, ever since he got the promotion that was yours. Good afternoon, Isaac. Also serious as usual, eh? Laughs. Not at the joke, if all of that, but as a reflex, make him more personable to everyone else. So, how'd the questions go with old Stabby Stomach? It's highly unprofessional to keep referring to Quincy as, quote, Stabby Stomach. All fun and games, Ellie. Lighten up a little. Feel your eye twitch at him calling you that. Oh, come on. What's your deal with names anyway? Oh my god. Elias is... He's like that about names? I'm like that about names. Come on. You can't keep doing this to me. My newest coworker, who started while I was on vacation, for some reason doesn't call me Mocha. All my other coworkers do. Even our manager has started calling me Mocha, and she's about the last person I was expecting to do that. Um, but this new one hasn't figured that out yet. I should just say it, right? I originally wanted to bring it up today because we had the early shift together, but it just didn't find the right moment to do that. I'll figure out a good time for it, I'm sure. No nicknames. Pet names even worse. Something or other about job titles. Enough of that, enough of that. How did the questions go? Did it go well? Anything new? When all eager to get back to work? Taps his foot. Not well. I got some things of use, but not the critical point. Saying it out loud to Isaac almost feels as bad as being defeated by Quinn. He said he has no information on the thief. Isaac smiles and his nostrils flare. Slight wheeze, almost silent. Elias, no offense, but that's absolute horseshit. That's what I thought. I pushed for any form of information. Didn't budge at all? Not an inch. Isaac rubs his neck, whirling a scraggly beard through his fingers. Interesting one, that is. You'd think he'd be surrendering like nothing with the time he's put into it. He's hiding something. There's an extra dimension to the case he doesn't want us to know about. Exactly right, exactly right. Any ideas as to what? Yeah, maybe he's just embarrassed about the case. I thought he's embarrassed. So then what? After spending this long on a case with nothing to show for it, can't bear to face that fact. Being so ashamed of this, he's refusing to give us even a fraction of the information he has. Oh, pride. Interesting theory, that one. I have been thinking, there could be something else to this. Explain. What if our Quinn knows who the thief is and doesn't want to tell us? For what ends? Oh, that I can't figure out, but something about the idea grabs me. Threads start spinning in your mind. It's pulling on something. Could be someone he knows. Either an old friend or someone he's met recently. It's an interesting theory. We could build on this. Annoyingly. I'll be perfectly honest, I am not too aware of Quinn's social circle. or if anyone new has entered his life. Start on some investigations this afternoon. Find out who he has connections to. They're relevant to information we have at present. Isaac laughs. No, you don't need to do any of that. You've spent long enough on this. Just tell him that you know he's protecting someone. Press hard enough, then he'll crack eventually. Tap your foot. Are you sure that's wise? I insist. You're certain? I need you to do it. Make it in order if you want. Well against your usual tactics. You've honed to a precise method over several years. It almost feels wrong to try it. But Isaac must have, he reasoned. Got his position for some form of talent, even if you dislike him as a person. I'll visit him tomorrow. If I keep to my previous schedule, he should be less guarded. Wonderful. Tell me how that goes. Of course. Oh, we're going to the show, huh? There's little else to do until the morning, leaving your mind and body free to wander through the evening. You usually occupy yourself with walks. Today didn't feel like a day to try something new, so you walk a route you've done many times in the goes from your apartment through the city center and several parks before returning home. One you quite enjoy. Right now, you're on Market Street, where the trees blend into the Market Street. Opposite you, on the other side of the road, stands the Manlena. People are still walking inside, but with a slight panic that says the door is closed. And might not even be on now. Could have finished his performance and left. It wouldn't hurt to check, you suppose. You join at the perfect time. The crowd is an ecstatic mess. In some instances, it's even hard to hear the performance. But Flynn seems unfazed by this. He continues his poem unimpeded, somehow managing to deliver the best lines as attention turns back to him. An audience he's used to, realize. He works them like a jockey of an unruly horse. The crowd's volume ebbs, you listen to what he's actually saying, and see immediately why he's so beloved. Speaks to the common man's heart. Those stood around you, you quickly realize. It's wrapped in bejeweled imagery, logos and form, logos and form twist through each other into something both metaphor and plain speech. Poverty, injustice, a better future for all in the room. You laugh a little, not enough that anyone hears it. Popular trite is what it is, as if whining does anything. His delivery is good, though. Damn good. The command of language and mastery of speech is some of the best you've heard. Shame that it's wasted on this. All that technical skill. That Quinn would have missed. He probably would have missed the topic, too. Certainly no way he wouldn't have mentioned it if he knew. For all Quinn boasted being such a fan of his work, he had no idea what he was actually listening to. It's a realization that makes you smile. Smile that catches his attention. Flynn, without a break in the flow of his delivery, swivels his eyes to you. No one else seems to notice. Still going, still focused on you. You wonder how long he can keep this up. Just under a minute, how long he can keep it up. And still his presence commands every inch of the stage. Stared at each other long enough that he knows you've noticed him. He smiles and finally turns away from you. At that, Flynn finishes. Round of applause. He bows several times. A different kind of smile crosses his face, one that isn't rehearsed. And then he looks at you again. Just before he slips behind the curtain, he beckons you over with a finger. Ooh, this could be interesting. Finding backstage took longer than you'd like to admit. Trying to find Flynn took even longer. You didn't even realize that many people were here. It doesn't help that the night is still ongoing. Every other second, someone rushes by you. Every minute, a scream from the crowd. You still haven't found him. Instead, he finds you. His face pops up behind a tower of crates, and he runs over to you with a smile. You didn't get lost, did you? I always forget how easy it is. You get used to it when you're behind the curtain so often. Did you want something, Flynn? Oh, nothing in particular. I just wanted to say hello. That's it? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to disappoint you. I recognized you and wanted to catch up. That's all. No apologies needed. I'm always happy to talk. How's the rest of your day been? Honestly, uneventful. After the morning, I spent most of my time rehearsing. I say uneventful, but my heart didn't think so. I thought my nerves would have me hung before the show shard. Let me try that one again. I thought my nerves would have me hung before the show started. But goodness me, that response lifted my spirits to heaven. Made everything worth it and more. It was a unique topic. What parts I did catch, the response was impressive. Guess that goes to show how important execution is, doesn't it? Definitely. Flynn cranes his head around, looking you up and down. I'm a bit surprised to see you, honestly. I didn't expect you to come along. Why not? You seemed quite busy with shouts from the crowd, followed by a chorus of laughs, peppered with distinct ones. He tuts at the stage's direction. It's so loud out here. Follow me. I can take us somewhere quieter. There's nothing to lose, you suppose. Cozy is the polite word to describe it. The best word is cramped, but you're bizarrely content, despite the arrangement of pillows that were clearly designed for one person. Tried chatting idly with him for a while, until you can't ignore his body heat anymore. Did you pick this room specifically to make us both uncomfortable? Flynn giggles and shimmies further into the fabric. It's quiet, right? Everywhere else you'll have yelling, stress, people interrupting you. Not to mention prying eyes. Basically no one can hear us here. Raise an eyebrow and squint a little. Define basically. Well, the way this room's connected with to the others means sound's barely audible from the outside. I have no idea how, but nothing escapes this place. Especially when someone's on stage. The noise from the audience drowns anything else out, anyway. Faint rumbling of applause and hollering. The next act is on. Just like now. One else can hear you. A plan starts to form in your head. You can't get through to Quinn directly. Questions are met with excuses, and a failed excuse means he simply refuses. But right now, the ticket to him is practically in your arms. You know, Flynn, there might be something you can help me with. He readjusts himself, sitting a bit more upright. What would that be? There's something important you need to know first. I need you to help me with an investigation I'm currently working on. Nods. I'm a police officer, is what you need to know. Nods again, unfazed by this. I thought that might have turned you off. Oh, not at all. I've had conversations with the police before. That's one way to put it. I was wondering, would you know an officer named Quincy? He often goes by Quinn. His eyes light up. Do you know him? He's a fan of mine, in fact. I've spoken to him on several occasions. What a lovely coincidence this is. Clear your throat. The point being, someone I spoke to mentioned that Quincy was a close friend of yours. Would that be true? Those friends? Pause for a beat, wondering if he's playing his own game. Well, they might have used friends quite liberally. Did they say anything else? Oh, forgive me for being a bit nosy, but I have to keep an eye on my reputation, you know. He has to be. He wants you to say it. They did say you had some intimate moments together. I didn't pry. It's not for me to ask. Then clicks his tongue, staring off at nothing. Did you know Quinn well? That's what I'm asking. Well, how would you define well? You exhale, tersely. Were you involved romantically? Flynn smirks. I mean, you could put it like that, but... Hand is tracing your chest, almost experimentally. It shouldn't be, but makes goosebumps spread across your skin. You're almost annoyed he's able to do this to you. He's experienced, but that really shouldn't come as a surprise. Excuse me? His fingertip paws. Would you like me to stop? You grab his palm, fully intending to pull his hand away. But it lingers there. Against your better judgment, you're enjoying how soft it feels. Damn! Yeah, literally, why did Twitch not let me put my title as these bitches gay? They're literally gay. This is like, look at this. Look at this. Fucking awesome. I wish I was gay like that. Unfortunately. Wait a minute. Both your hands lay still for a moment to look at each other. A terrible plan crosses your mind. Rapidly subsumes the previous one. Are you close enough that this would make him jealous? Gasps playfully and laughs a little. That's quite the assumption, isn't it? You could say... He bites his lip and flicks his eyes away from you. I flirt with a lot of people, even cops. What does this look like? Looks like he's trying to seduce you. More than willing to go along with it, if not just for Quinn's reaction. That you're trying to tease me is what it looks like. Oh, I could stop teasing if you want. Then moves out of his nest of pillows and puts one leg over, straddling you. Encouraging him, you place a hand on the small of his back and coax him with a light push. He accepts the invitation and moves closer. His hands briefly explore your torso, finding a spot they're comfortable. Then he leans into you fully. I think I have COVID. You can't believe, even for a prostitute, that he'd be this easy to manipulate. Oh, Elias still thinks he's in charge. That's awesome. Your nose is less than a centimeter from his, and... Flynn? Someone said that... Oh, sorry. Flynn climbs off you and sits up fully to meet your intruder. No, you're fine, Ozzy. Ozzy notices your glare and redacts whatever you was about to say. I'll catch you when you aren't busy. The door closes behind him. That's a friend of mine. Apology. Don't apologize for things that aren't your fault. You don't want to start again. Got more than enough for him, anyway. I'll have to go, unfortunately. Work starts earlier than I'd like. Will I see you again? Stop yourself midway through standing up and move closer. One hand frames his cheek, and a finger pushes aside a golden thread of hair. Do you want to? The creak of the door isn't as loud this time. Back at the hospital. Once more, Quinn doesn't acknowledge you. Instead of playing the same game again, you move it immediately. Good morning, detective. He only rolls his eyes. What do you want from me now? Feels terribly unnatural, but you push on through any doubts you still have. Who is he? You see his legs tense under the blanket. Who's who? The man who stabbed you, Quinn. You know well enough that there's more than you're letting on. It is a man, isn't it? You always said it was. Oh, of course, you don't know anything about him. Could be a woman, for all we know. Quinn leans forward, eyes flinching for a moment. He's a man. So you do know who he is? Again, no. Detective, we can make this much easier for both of us if you just cooperate. Quinn's face shifts. Did Isaac put you up to this? That's an Isaac line. He uses that one during interrogations. You've turned around your whole questioning style in less than 24 hours for some reason. Looks at you, almost with a sense of pity. Come on, Elias. Takes you a second before you can admit it. You're correct. We came up with a hypothesis about your actions, and Isaac wanted me to force an answer out of you. I was wondering where that came from. He presses the ball of his palm against his forehead, exhales through his nose. Now Isaac's involved. Great, great. What else has he told you that's wrong? Well, I do believe you want to protect the thief. Quinn scoffs. Why, Elias? There's several reasons why. Embarrassment that you couldn't catch him. Personal attachment makes you reluctant to turn him over. Feel far better already. Unless you have explanations, I'll be working under the assumption that you refuse to give us evidence. And by refusing to do that, unfortunately you make this hypothesis stronger. That's bullshit. Yours, yours. Debunk me. I don't like him. I hate him. I've never despised a man more than I do him. When gestures aggressively at his bandage. Something about this might tell you that, Elias. And he hates me too, for many reasons. He swallows. You think that would make me embarrassed? That's the reason I wouldn't say anything. Most everything you've said tells me you know who he is. Quinn tries several attempts to start a sentence. Between each attempt, the gap grows longer. At last, he looks directly at you. I made a promise. You made a promise to the thief? Won't answer. I'll have to assume that the two of you are in contact. Great. Assume it. I'm not telling you anymore. Stretch out your legs, crossing one foot over the other. So, detective, from what you've told me, I'm forced to come to the conclusion that you're refusing to hand over evidence. Quinn says nothing. He's no longer looking at you. Further refusal to answer only makes me more certain that this is the case. Still, nothing. He's given you a perfect opening. You stand slowly. You wait until he turns back to you. In light of these developments, detective, I believe I have some information to share. You place your hands behind your back and smile pleasantly. I've been seeing Flynn. Quinn's eyes grow wide. His cheeks start to go red. By that you mean... He invited me backstage after a show. I'll spare the details. I'm sure you have intimate knowledge of what he does. His face contorts between shock, denial, and anger, finally landing on fear. You need to stop. Why, detective? I don't see any issues that could arise from this. Flynn accepted my advances readily. I see no reason why he shouldn't be allowed to continue doing so. And, unlike some, I keep a clear distinction between work relations and personal ones. It's not even about us. Which us? Either. Pick one. You're going to regret doing this. Know why you're doing it. Not going to end how you think it is. You're not even listening, are you? No. You're just... He throws a hand up, which then lands like a dead weight on the sheet. Nope. Go ahead. Learn the lesson yourself. I don't care. Nothing's getting through to you anymore. Quinn does his best to completely ignore. You can play this game for a while. Just go. Play for longer. Go. Till one doubt creeps into your head. You kill it with a swift exit. It was an interesting confrontation. Didn't go exactly how you were expecting. He absolutely knows who the thief is, that you're certain. How interesting. But because he won't tell you anymore, you have nothing. Nothing? You don't need to say anything else. Isaac shakes his head, tutting. You did what I said, didn't you? Pushing the accusation constantly. I started with that tactic. After not making much ground, I changed course to others I thought would be more suitable. Should have kept it up, Elle. That's how it works. Start strong, end stronger. My apologies. At the very least, I've confirmed that he is hiding information from us, which could be another starting point. Starting point, starting point. I want conclusions, damn it. I understand that it's a frustrating case, but we've been making progress, albeit slowly. I should have been closed. One and done. Find the thief and throw him in jail. Again, there's not much we can do in this regard, unless Quincy suddenly starts cooperating. Then make him cooperate. That's not feasible. Look, Elias. Isaac places a hand on your shoulder and leans in close to your ear. You didn't hear me say this, but if you take more, drastic measures, I'll look the other way. Squeeze his shoulder. I need you to. Isaac walks out. You smile. Know where he lives. It's a nicer place than you expected. You thought the street would be as decrepit as the ones nearby? You're surprised it took you this long to search his files for residents of the street, you notice? Start shying away when they recognize your uniform. One person runs into a block and several lights shut off. They'll check the number and approach his home. On closer look, the paint on his front door is weathered, peeled chunks begging for another burst of rain to put them out of their misery. The wood itself around the doorknob has been chipped away, to the point you can see part of the lock. You knock on the door twice, firmly. Doesn't seem to be a bell. That wasn't really the sound of a firm knock, was it? It was a pretty light knock. It's only a few seconds later until he opens the door, taking a step back on seeing your face. You? Let's greet our pal. Evening, Flynn. I hope my visit doesn't inconvenience you. I have some things I would like to discuss. Oh, not at all. What things? I'd rather talk about that inside, if you have the time. Flynn opens the door fully and stands aside, motioning you in with his hand. Is this about work, then? You could say that. I'd be happy to help. Hey, anything else? No, that won't be necessary. We don't have the time for it. Closes the door behind you and adjusts the single gas lamp on the wall, which does little. It must be very urgent, then. Not urgent enough that you can't inspect the place. This was more to what you were expecting from the majority of your journey here. The room is barely furnished, and what furnishings there are look like they're ready to fall apart. It looks bad. It's very bad, actually. You wonder where the money's going when he performs that often. You're happy you didn't accept his tea, actually. Then sits down on an armchair with a crack splitting the leather in two, like he's going to say something and start over him. I've been having some thoughts, Flynn, about our relationship. Flynn's shoulders relaxed. Ah, I see. Thought this was about your case, considering gestures at your uniform. I did say this was related to work, didn't I? My apologies. It's related tangentially, however. I'm sure you're no stranger to advances. What with your line of work, yes? Hands, you mean? That's an interesting word for them. Someone has to have been direct with you, haven't they? How many potential clients you have? Then scratches his ear. Sorry, where are you going with this? You're free to ask me anything. I'm quite an open book. Anyone can attest to that. And I know you said it wasn't work related, but really, I have no aversions to assisting the police. I mean, everyone says that to me. Need to stay quiet, especially when the police are around. I end up talking way too much, saying things people didn't want spoken. Anyway, what did you need to ask? Waited long enough, and a small smile creeps onto your face. Brother! He's just saying that, huh? Oh my god! What the hell, Elias? Oh, sorry, I have to break character for this. I haven't really been talking much for myself, just kind of like reading it out. It's weird, right? In a way, I've been quietly playing a game even while talking the entire time because it's just voiceover. Like I'm basically reading a book here. I want to fuck you. Doesn't say anything. A full minute. Time flows like a trickle. And feel the gaps on your pocket watch lengthening. Hear its gentle ticks. Dead silence. Eventually, lips part. Oh. He rubs the back of his neck, eyes tactically not looking into yours. Is there an issue? Well, just I've never had someone be that forward before. I highly doubt that with your line of work. That's quite a stretch, isn't it? Some poets' fames had some people be upfront, sure, but no, Flynn, not that. I mean your other job. Realization dawns on his face. You know, I do. Pulls a piece of leather off the chair. Well, suppose I left enough hints, didn't I? Quite. Then bites his thumb for several moments. And you're not just arresting me outright? Not now, no. Might be able to look the other way for a time. Or, say, a favor. You consider this a favor? Taps his chin, considering something. He leans back into his chair, shoulders relaxing a little more. All right, you can play along. We'll do it. Now, knots his hands together, spreading his thumbs over and over. This is quite the set of options. We can threaten him, coerce him, or seduce him. I'm not threatening him. I'm not threatening this boy. But like coerce and seduce, those are both good options for the situation. You know what I mean? I also feel like Elias wouldn't be able to seduce someone. Sorry. So let's go with coerce. Oh god! We're just. I didn't realize the game was this explicit. I didn't realize. Did I? I do have streamer mode turned on, right? To like skip the explicit scenes? Urgh. I'm really glad I put on the stream tag for sexual themes because yeah. I guess I have to say it, huh? Your cock's twitching. Then the eyes grow wider, just slightly. He shifts in his seat a little, almost like he's trying to hide it. You want this, don't you? You walk towards him. Your boots snap against the wooden floor, stopping just before his. He looks up to you. His Adam's apple twitch, following. Touches the chair a little tighter. Place one hand on the armrest and use it as a pivot to lean down. He matches, sinking further back into his seat. The creaking protests of the leather almost sound excited. Until he can't retreat any further, leaving you as the victor. Flynn tenses with a nervous excitement. His breathing is shallow, but he makes no moves to try to escape. Just like before, and now with no one to interrupt you, your noses almost touch. Part slightly. For all his protests, he is eager for it. This is a fetish for him. Maybe he genuinely thinks you're attractive. The way, forcing him to wait, the treat in itself, and reminds him who's in charge of the encounter. Twist your head to the left and claim him. You're out of practice and, being frank, sloppy. Takes a second for you to remember the best places to put your tongue. But Flynn makes more than enough good out of it. He guides you exactly where you need to go to make it the best for both of you. He's a professional, and it shows. Lose yourself for long enough that you almost forget why you're here. When you finally part, you inhale deeply, intoxicated by the mixture of his taste and scent. Licks your saliva off his lips. Nothing holding you back now. Trace a finger down from his neck, center of his chest. Even through the fabric, you can feel bumps blossom beneath his shirt. You tease one button between your index and thumb, like you were inspecting a fine diamond. Brings his hands up and starts unbuttoning from the bottom. Flynn's rushing, but the way he doesn't want to seem like he is. He fails at this quite well. Makes him error-prone, erratic. One button takes up to 4 tries to undo it. It'd probably take less time if he did it slower. Don't say anything. It's fun to watch him struggle. Another. Failure. Failure. Another. The next one breaks the previous record. 5 attempts and still it hides his torso. Swears under his breath, taking one hand. It's funny when you think about it. Now you're the one needing to be patient. Maybe it's intentional. Trying to flip the script. You discard that theory when he gives up on the final button and resorts to ripping the fabric apart. The button pops off and clatters across the floor, never to be seen again. Eager, aren't you? Not that, it's just. Go on, Flynn. Say it. Embarrass yourself. Looks up to the ceiling and exhales to the point his voice is a whisper. I want to do it. Want to do what? Fuck you. I want to fuck you. He's almost pouting. You hold him by the shoulders and pull him off the chair to the floor. Then goes down to his knees with next to no resistance. Once you let go, taking a moment to admire your work, he doesn't get up. He knows he doesn't have a choice in the matter. Flynn is hot, bothered, and insatiably horny. And precisely where you need him to be. Damn, we're really skipping that? I don't even. So, I should really look at this off stream to see if there's actually any graphic content or if it's just descriptions. Because if it's just text, then we can just go ham, right? I mean, I've played through the entirety of 6L on stream and like that was pretty intense. For lack of to put it lightly, that one was pretty intense. So I don't know, I'm willing to play this gamble. Whatever. The scent of sex still clings to you the following morning. There's probably not going to actually be any graphic content, right? It's just going to be text. But I don't know, maybe people have gotten in trouble for this kind of thing. Have they? Do you think they have? Should I stream this on a different platform, perhaps? The uncensored version. Would anyone want to? Would anyone enjoy a voiceover by me of, frankly, smut? Type 1 in chat if that is something you would be interested in. His bed could only fit one person, but you were both too spent to care. Okay. We got a 1. I'm writing this down. For this is a good content idea for the future. You know, I'm always looking for new content ideas. I wouldn't want the well to run dry eventually. I'm always trying to expand what I do live. And there's basically nothing I wouldn't do for the sake of content. Let's be honest. But enough about me. Let's get back to the game. You went to sleep holding him and woke up to no one there. Gave you a needed break to process everything that happened last night. For a brief moment, feel guilt that thinks this might actually be real. It's shoved aside immediately, thinking about who it was actually for. Checking the pocket watch in your jacket tells you it's 8:12 a.m. Put on your day clothes first, and your uniform on top of it. And he's a prostitute. It's a manner of business, and you both agreed to that. Walking into the one other room isn't here either. Perhaps he heard an early... Perhaps he had an early show, or call from someone too hungover for their own good. On the chair, seemingly placed at a deliberate angle, there's a note pronounced against the disintegrating leather. You didn't expect a poet to have such terrible handwriting. He tells you he had a wonderful time. Where to see him perform next, the door key is under the mat. And that you'll be seeing each other much sooner than you'd expect. A muffin is next to it. You recognize the wrapper, being the one you see almost every morning. The twinge of guilt returns. It tastes nice, which makes it even worse. Tangy fruit with a pleasantly bitter aftertaste. Before you can think about it anymore, you set your sights to why this happened in the first place. Close the door behind you, lock it with the key, and get ready to deliver a punchline. Alright, let's see what happens. This time, when you enter the room, your heart skips a beat. Everything's led to this point. You're really, actually going to say this to him. All you can think about. Whatever guilt or apprehensions you had were left at the door. Here to try again. It's like I said yesterday. I'm not telling you anything else. You can taste the anticipation on your lips as they part. I fucked Flynn. Went to his flat last night and asked to fuck him. And he agreed. He wanted me, Quinn. I could have done anything. Used and discarded him as I pleased. Did he cry like that for you? Does a whore do that for anyone? Would have happened yesterday if we weren't disrupted. That's how easy he was. I fucked him, Quinn. There. Okay. Quinn is unmoved. He barely even shrugged. Motherfucker just said okay. This wasn't supposed to be how it went. Let's provoke him some more. I fucked him. Yes. Just said that. I don't doubt you did, if that's what you were going for. He shrugs properly this time. Congratulations? Is that what you want me to say? His emotions haven't shifted a bit. Quinn just seems mildly baffled. This wasn't nearly as satisfying as you were expecting. This wasn't satisfying at all. Your stoic posture's gone. You're not sure at what point it left you. The whole ordeal was obvious, but I didn't think you'd go as far as having sex with him. You... Forehead creep. You coerced him into this? This really wasn't how it was supposed to go. Anxieties start crawling up your spine. Let's lie. He was perfectly willing to go through with it. Did he start willing? Did you convince him that he was? I've seen how you interrogate people. You stammer. It was... That excuse won't work. We both... Neither will that one. You feel a rush, remembering one that does. He's a prostitute. It was a business matter. Lindsay... Quinn blinks. What the hell are you talking about? An illegal side job. Said it himself. Dropping hints. It was obvious. He didn't call it... Quinn rubs his face, fingers pushing into his eyes, and lets out a groan from the back of his throat. No, it's not. Even if it was, you just forced him to work for free. I know you didn't pay him. Quinn's legs fold under the sheets, and he sits up properly without a reaction. His face softens a little. I said you'd regret this. Messing with me directly? Sure. Fair game, I suppose. Get it out your system. But this, the lecturing tone, the one he's been using for the past 4 days, drops. I've never seen you like this at all, Al. That name with that tone breaks a barrier you didn't realize you had up. I... Your heart plummets through the floor. Weight drags you down with it, and you barely catch yourself by sitting on Quinn's bed. Not one thing goes unchecked in your head. All you did to him, all you wished you could do and were too much of a coward to try. Everything. All of it. One critical point remains. I'm a terrible person, aren't I? I think we've both done terrible things. Look at each other for the first time in far too long. As people. Quinn shifts the sheets over and moves himself over the mattress's edge to match you. Slowly, realizing he's hit a new limit for pain. The front between you is unraveling. Months, almost a year of pathetic games are becoming more relevant by the second. If there's anything else you want to say, where would you begin? Everything swims around your head. The good, the bad, especially the bad. Take your head. I'd rather say them later. Many things on your mind. Yes, far too many. They all need time. I don't deserve something off the cuff when I can't think straight. A moment of comfortable silence. I didn't expect this from you. I don't know why you would. We're getting everything off our chests, then something serious settles on his face. There's something I need to tell you. Which is? I know who the thief is. You almost jumped to a stand, fast enough that your vision grazed a little. It's made things complicated. Very complicated. It's... Good morning, gentlemen. Oh, awkward. Hold on, I need to take a sip of water. I'm not ready for this. Ah, yes, the thruple finally united in one room. Genuine toxic thruple. Like, we joke about that. This is like, I guess that's the plot of the game, huh? The window slams closed behind him. He brushes off his pinstriped knees and adjusts the cuffs of the same shirt you fucked him in. Now? Flynn ignores Quinn and regards you briefly with a smile. Hello, Elias. Quinn, ready for the big day? It's on him saying that, addressing you directly, that revelation. You never told him your name. Flynn, we're not... You look shocked, Elias. Why wouldn't I be visiting someone I love oh so much? Flynn... Oh, of course. You're here for that case. How'd our little affair help you out? Flynn! He looks at Quinn with Genuine confusion. Forget it. I don't want it to happen anymore. Flynn is nonplussed. His mouth hangs open, eyes blinking rapidly. Then throws his hands up. Why didn't you tell me that earlier? Why didn't you come earlier like usual? Scoffs and jabs a thumb at you. I was poisoning him. There was no chance you could have done that. Then wheezes. How did I think you were the smarter one? You didn't eat anything, did you, Elias? I only had... Bitterness returns to your tongue. Muffin, like I said. Same flavor, same cafe, like clockwork. Anyway, Quinn... Why did this happen? Quinn is frozen. You're going to have me answer, are you sure? Cocks his head and pulls a theatrically fake smile at you. He wanted to teach you a lesson or something. I wasn't fully listening. I said poison as a joke, and he jumped at the idea. Feel a tightness begin to crush your chest. You didn't even fully know why? I like fooling around with cops, you know that. He winks at you. Another stab of pain. Quinn deflates. Abject horror carved into his face. Finally, you say something, but all that comes out is a wheeze. And then your legs give out. Collapse is painful. You land on your chin, your ribs taking the rest of it. Your arms fail next, no matter how desperately you try to flex them. This can't be it. This can't be it. With one final rasp of breath, you squeeze out the only thing you can think of saying. Damn you, Quinn. Is every chapter just going to end with someone getting, like, mortally wounded or having a near-death experience in some other way? What the hell? Like, actually, what the hell? This game is fucking awesome. I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time. I can't lie. This is... I feel like I had something to say. There was... it was on the tip of my tongue, but now it has faded away again. My god. Yeah, there was definitely something I wanted to say. Yeah, no, it's not coming back to me. Sorry. Um, God, that was a lot. A lot happened here. I don't know. Does anyone feel the need to go over it? I'm personally perfectly happy just like experiencing this as we go without like digging too deep into it or whatever. And would you look at that? It's been almost 2 hours, so I think I'm just gonna end stream. Let's just see who we can raid right now. There are a bunch of people live that I follow. Rare evening pointy stream? Nada's playing Mecha Break. Grapefruit's playing Katamari. Yeah, I never feel like raiding Grapefruit. Raiding such a big channel is always like, wow. Thanks for the 2-viewer raid. It's awesome. Ah, this was really great. This was really great. Like I said, before the next time that I stream this, I am gonna go see, you know, what's actually different when you go like into the menu. I want to show you the setting, and here, uncheck the skip explicit scenes thing. It's just text descriptions, right? Probably, surely. And so if I decide that actually that's fine, then we're gonna have that included next time around. It's fine, right? It's fine. It's probably fine. Y'all aren't gonna rat me out or anything. Yeah, I really have nothing else to say. Let's go and raid Pointy. Playing Great Keeper. I don't even know what that game is. It's fine. It looks like Stardew Valley. Cool. Real cool. Yeah. Hope you all enjoyed that. Hope you all enjoyed the gay. I love gay. Like and subscribe if you're gay. Moment. But yeah, next stream tomorrow night, same time as today. And what was I gonna stream? I forgot. I wrote it down. It's in the schedule that I have on Discord. Right, I was just gonna play Vintage Cube because that's still up and I really enjoy it. And we can't play Void until I get my keyboard, so see you there. And be nice to Pointy, okay? Bye.